listen to these guys and really follow what they say. But oh my God, I like in the first 3 months, I quintupled what I spent getting into the program. And we're in this bull run that's going to go up. He'll look at a chart and he'll go, I don't know, but I think this is going to dip down to 53.5 cents. And 3 hours later, it dips down to 53.5 cents and then shoots up. And I'd say over 2/3 of the time, what he thinks might happen is exactly what happens. It's friggin' crazy. It's like magic. It's weird. It's like, it still freaks me out when he does that.
Another question here that says, are the classes good?
They're unbelievable. They're not good. They're great. They're great.
Mr. Jeff.
Yes.
Well, it's good to see you. For everyone watching, Jeff is one of our members who honestly is just crushing it. And so Jeff, if you can just quickly introduce yourself, tell everyone who you are and what you were doing before Decentralized Masters.
Yeah, I live in Chicago. I'm a musician, a jazz drummer, and I also have a production company producing events. I've been very blessed to make music my whole life for a living. And I've also been a men's coach for about 25 years, leading weekend trainings to help people live their best life and make life as juicy as possible. I got into crypto. I just through $7,000-10,000, not even that much, like maybe $7,000 into a few, like 5 things back in late 2017. And then honestly, I forgot about it. And then I decided to get really serious about finances and joined Decentralized Masters in late December, January of 24. So it's been a year and a half.
All right. Thank you. So I mentioned earlier that you made a substantial amount with Sui, one of Tyler's pick, right?
Tyler.
Yeah,
He's
Tyler.
a brilliant analyst and a great guy and one of the great people to follow here. There's many really good mentors, but he's one of my favorites to
Yeah,
just
we're
follow.
really blessed to have him. Not wanting to make any other mentor jealous, right? But we like him. And so when you first joined DM, so you bought a little bit of crypto in 2017, all right? But then you forgot about it. So you were a blank slate, right? You didn't really understand what you were going into. And so
No.
what it's been like actually implementing the things we cover inside the mastermind?
When I joined, within 3 months, I listened. I was like a kid that didn't know anything, and so I just followed advice and started playing with all the aspects of what you talked about, especially the B part of ABN system, become your own bank, right? And I happened to get in at a time where the market was rising pretty quickly, which was really nice. But then also with that, I mean, I was getting into liquidity pools with like 2%, 3% a day, like 1,800% gains a year kind of thing. But that would only last a week or two, and then I'd rotate out of that and into other things. So I was just really listening and following, and I doubled my portfolio in 3 months. It was amazing. Then a combination of getting cocky real quick, which is a real danger in life in general, but it's especially a danger with investing when you stop listening to the people who really are knowledgeable and have a long-term sense of this. Some combination of that and a combination of my old way of thinking, which was getting into stocks, and listening to the Motley Fool, which the philosophy is buy a great asset and hold. If you bought Amazon in 1723, look what you would have done, kind of idea, And so between that mindset and getting a little cocky, I didn't take profits the way you guys recommended, So then I saw the assets go back down, and now they're going back up again. But it's been an incredible journey of learning, and that's one of the things with investing is you're dealing with yourself. You're learning a lot about yourself in addition to this market. But my biggest advice is listen to these guys and really follow what they say.
What do you think are the things you did well and that are responsible for your success?
I got into assets that Tyler and the other mentors and that you guys recommended early on. And I started exploring how to be my own bank and how to take an asset and put it in a single stake liquidity pool, which is really a lot safer. I'm not going to go into the details of that. You would learn if you get in the program, but and get like an extra 5-10% in addition to the asset growing. You get extra asset, fees on top of that. And that I think is probably the greatest thing I've done. And just choosing good assets I would never have heard of, Like, what is SUI? What is SUI? And I would never have heard of that out on the street. But you guys really knew that it was coming down the road, and just how to allocate a portfolio. Those are some of the biggest successes, really following your guidance.
That's inspiring. What do you think you could have done better that would have made you even more successful?
For sure, taking profits. So in my mind, we're in a bull run. We were in a bull run from when I joined in January 24. What I did, my picture of a bull run is it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And I could not understand the subtleties of a bull run lasting 2.5 years. And within that 2.5 years, things can go down 50, 60%, over a 6-month period before it starts taking off again. And I would have been I don't know exactly right this minute, but instead of doubling to tripling my money, if I would have listened to that and taken profit and then gotten back in closer to the bottom when all the indicators showed, we're about ready to lift off again, I probably would have quintupled my money in the last year and a half.
You didn't listen to when we said to sell in December?
In December, that's exactly right. I did not listen to that because I knew better. We're in a bull run. I know better than you guys. I mean, that's how stupid I was. Don't make that same mistake. Learn from me.
All right, super cool. Also, did that resonate with you, what we said about the accountability partner, etc.? Did you see yourself maybe, you've made a lot of money, etc., and then you thought it was just easy, and so you got a bit comfortable, maybe?
Yeah, comfortable and cocky. Yeah. And I think, I've not really taken the accountability partner like as another member very seriously, which I should. I think that's something I've gotten out of today is to get an accountability partner in addition to, the mentors, so that we can talk offline and remind each other, and point out more personally when we have a blind spot.
What are the elements of the program that you think helped you the most?
In terms of being able to sleep well at night, getting into this whole sector of crypto, it's your focus on safety and on, keeping your assets safe. You guys really emphasize that and how to do it and learning how to move from blockchain to blockchain. It's pretty complex when you first get in. And I know that the industry is evolving and you're even developing some core with legacy, developing some products that are going to be making that much easier down the road. But just the way you navigate the whole crypto space and making it safe and making it, I wouldn't call it easy, but it would be almost impossible without the guidance you guys have. And the mentors you can call any day, every single day, there's somebody available to talk to if I get stuck and need help figuring out why I can't do this or why I can't do that, or how do I move my money from this blockchain to the other blockchain to invest in this crypto. I think the guidance around safety and of just navigating is so invaluable. I want to say one more thing. I've noticed in a year and a half how much you guys have changed the structure of the program, how much you've changed access to mentors, how much you've changed. And so I get how committed you are to serving us, your clients, your students, you're constantly thinking and interviewing us as to what do we want? What do we need? What's not working for you? What is working for you? Kind of even like these questions you're asking, and that you're willing to be this transparent to all these new people asking me what hasn't worked. I think that's awesome. That shows the level of commitment you have to the people in the organization that you've created. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we're going into our fifth version of the training, where the mentors are building it as we speak, because we discovered a lot of new ways to leverage the decentralized world.
Yeah, I have a question. So Jeff, you joined like 1.5 years ago, and a lot of people here actually are pretty much right there at the last timing, the perfect timing, right? It's probably the last window before the grand explosion that we've been preparing for. So tell us, are you excited for the bull market?
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. And the idea of what I have now, doubling or whatever, doubling, tripling, whatever will happen, and then getting out of a lot of things and going into stable coins and Bitcoin and gold and Yeah, it's so to move into completely safe areas and to with stable coins get, 8, 10, 12% interest on my dollar when in the regular stock market, like money market funds are getting 1, 2, 3%. Yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah.
We're also excited.
We can't wait to also, execute that massive bull run exit strategy as well,
Yeah.
because it's about keeping the big gains and what do we do with it after that. We're so excited to teach you guys what is our strategy for the post exit. That's going to be
Yeah.
great. We have had over 50 bookings. It's crazy.
You have any advice? I mean, you've given a lot of advice, but yeah, like someone who is just starting, who is maybe a little bit scared, who is like, he feels like there is potential, right? Because it's obvious, but still there is like this fear of the unknown. What would you tell that person?
Breathe and trust the mentors and ask lots of questions. If a fear comes up, that is a roadmap towards something you want to have a better understanding around, so use your fear to help guide you into asking the right questions to get answers to relieve and alleviate that fear. So fear isn't something to run from, it's something to listen to. And unless it's something that's just completely you're projecting into the future, all the doomsday scenarios, I'm learning that's when you need to tell yourself, okay, that's my mind, and my mind is full of shit. Excuse my language. So that's a time not to listen to it, except to say, okay, I'm scared of something bad could happen. What are the potential bad things that could happen? Well, you need to think about safety and make sure you're documenting your stuff and whatever that may be. Yeah, if you're afraid to get into this program, it's understandable. It's a lot of money, but oh my God, in the first 3 months, I quintupled what I spent getting into the program. And we're in this bull run that's going to go up. So if you're concerned about spending money and not making it back, I mean, I can't guarantee anything, but there's not a better place to invest, I think. I mean, to make good on that. I don't think it's that big of a risk, actually, at this point in time.
Yeah, thank you very much for saying that. We can't guarantee anything either, huh? No.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But what about if people, understand the opportunity and all these things, but they think rather, oh, maybe they won't be able to make it. Like it's not on us. They understand that the organization is great, the mentors are great. It's more on them. What would you say to them?
I've seen so many people come into this space. I am not a brilliant investor. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed. I mean, I'm a drummer. I'm a jazz drummer. So I'm not an economist. I'm not a mathematician. But everybody has a mind and everybody has the ability to, if you listen and you systematically follow instructions, if you can do that, then you can do this. It's really that simple. Yeah. And you can get help. There are people that help. There are other people in the program that will be glad to help you. You could get people's phone numbers and they'll, support you and stuff. Yeah, it's an amazing community too. There's some great people in this community.
What about people who say that they don't have time, to watch charts all day and like think it's gonna be like what how much time did it take you or does it take you?
Oh, Tyler, you're not gonna like this. I don't want to admit this in front of you, but I do not go on TradingView and look at the charts myself and make decisions myself on the charts. I go to Tyler's sessions and I listen to what he says and I ask him the questions I would have that I ideally would know how to read myself, but I just don't. And so I trust him and I ask him the questions. He pulls up the chart and in 3 seconds says what's going on. And these charts are I never imagined how a chart could be like this whole information. He'll look at a chart and he'll go, I don't know, but I think this is going to dip down to 53.5 cents. And 3 hours later, it dips down to 53.5 cents and then shoots up. And so he says, I think you should do a limit order and get in at this price. And I'd say over 2/3 of the time, what he thinks might happen is exactly what happens. It's friggin' crazy. It's like magic. It's weird. It's like, it still freaks me out when he does that. I probably spend an hour a day now in somebody's course, in somebody's class. When I started, I'm a jazz musician, so I'm free during the day. I can allocate the time the way I want, I probably dedicated 3 to 4 hours a day watching the videos, all that. You don't have to do that. You can take your time. You could do an hour a day for a while. But in the beginning, I really wanted to learn a lot of stuff and move fast. And it paid off. Like I said, I doubled my money in 3 months. So, but the thing that's cool about this is there's the mentors you can get on with live at any time. There's multiple people you can talk to and classes going on every day. And there's all the videos training through the system, starting with safety and starting with mindset, which is critical, which I've talked about, both the positive and the pitfalls in my experience. Yeah.
Thank you, by the way, for sharing this.
So I have a question real quick before the other questions come in. So, and sometimes we like to say we want to help people find the next Ethereum, the next Solana. Do you think that's accurate and that we actually help people do that?
Absolutely. And you do it on multiple levels. You do it on the kind of big, blue chip or layer one, like the bigger assets that are going to be safer, not as volatile, which is the next one. And you also do it in a program called GEMS, which is the low cap, very risky, very stuff. And Tyler comes up with GEMS every week that if you want to, you can invest like maybe a small amount in these gems. And these are the gems that literally can go up 30, 50, 200% over the next few weeks or months. But the trick is also when to get out, which he can help you with that. Also, the other thing that nobody's touched on is trading, like on Hyperliquid, like doing perpetuals, which is, like shorts and longs. He's deep into that and really good at it. And so I'm now playing that game a lot. So I'm, setting limits to get in at a certain price, setting the take profit price and a stop loss price, just like you would in the stock market. And in like the last 2 months, I've gone from like 7K to 14K or 13K, almost doubled my money in a couple months doing that. And that's all more short-term plays. I have fun doing that. I enjoy it. It's not for everybody.
And so coming back to the next Solana, so you got Sui. I believe you made six figures plus with this one investment. Did you ever think that was going to happen?
No.
Okay, we got a lot of questions coming in. Question for Jeff. I do not have time to invest 3 hours a day. I do not have 3 hours a day to spend on learning. Can I do this within a couple hours a week?
You can. I think it's all a matter of how much you put in, is semi-relative to how much you get out. But if you get in and you learn how to safely navigate, you could just put your resources into a few things and not really touch them much. And the mentors could help you how to do that, given that you're only going to do 2 hours a day, a week. I mean, that's up to you.
It says, what was your account size when you started? You don't have to share this, by the way, if you're not comfortable.
I mean, I'll say, yeah, I started like around 200K, but then I remembered the investments I made back in end of 2017, the 7,000 I put in, and I tried to get into it. It was like BNB, I think. It was a blockchain. I mean, it was a decentralized exchange that doesn't allow U.S. citizens to access it, which wasn't the case when I got into it. I guess it must not have been. And the mentors helped me how to get into it, how to get a VPN and have my computer look like I'm in Chile, and then get into this account and retrieve the money out. It was kind of challenging. It took a couple hours, but they helped me get it. And that $7,000 from 2017 was $160,000. So I added that 160 to my portfolio, and yeah, now I'm doing very well. I'll just say that. And looking forward to the bull run. And then playing the safer game after that.
What would you do different having your current knowledge?
Oh, I would have taken profit at all the times you said to take profit. That's the biggest no-brainer. Like, I was just stupid. To think that I knew better than you guys was so stupid. And I don't think I was conscious of thinking I knew better, but the mind does its thing, I'm learning a lot about myself, for better and for worse.
Another question here that says, are the classes good?
They're unbelievable. They're not good. They're great. They're great. They really are. The mentors they hire really know what they're doing. And the system that you guys have created is phenomenal. Like, take any complex thing and break it down into all its little component parts and then categorize it in sections. That's what they've done. to make it completely doable for anybody. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, we might do a last one. There's a very interesting question here from Rick Martin, who says, okay, if you have significant real world assets, fully diversified and producing, for long-term stability, why do we even do phase one stuff when the opportunity seems to be in phase 2 and 3 right now? Should a new DeFi investor look at these opportunities for gains, be your own bank, and later reap earnings into Bitcoin or gold, etc.? So how would you answer that?
I would probably say you should answer that.
Yeah, but
It
actually,
was coming.
yeah, I felt it coming too. So, no, but the thing is, we want to see if you actually learned, right? Because we like to teach people how to fish, not to fish for them. So we have constant conversations and we teach you guys what we think. So why do phase 1 stuff when the opportunity seems to be in phase 2 and 3 right now? How would you answer that?
Well, because all the phases are important for the whole big picture. And phase 1 stuff is your most stable. If I'm understanding phase 1,
it's the allocation, I would say, probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, phase 1 is what creates solidity and like a strong foundation. It's like building a home. You build your foundation with the cement that everything else is built on top of. And then you've got phase 2, which is like your walls and your roof. And then phase 3 is like putting up the curtains and paint and pictures and all the stuff that makes you super comfortable. That's kind of an analogy I would think of. Yeah, and I think all of those things are what make a home and comfortable and a joy to live in.
And now I can add that because you didn't take profits in December, right, you understand how valuable phase 1 is.
Absolutely. And hopefully new people don't have to learn the hard way like I did. Sometimes I need a sledgehammer upside the head.
Now, good for you. You're still 3 to 4x up on your initial investment, but it's important to take profits, to pay yourself, and to follow a system, because that's what makes a big difference between someone who's planned and someone who's going in blind and working on emotions. So that's what we try to bring to your life. Structure.
Yeah, I'm very grateful.